And I am kind of like a Bitcoin maxi in a degen's body. I really am. I think eventually I will be all in just Bitcoin. In the intern, I'm a little late to the game here. I need to make the extra money to put into Bitcoin. And I think that there's a little space there for people like myself, maybe newer people like yourself who are listening. If done properly with a good set of rules, my idea is you can kind of profit on the cryptocurrency side of things, take your profit, and then at the right times, you start loading into Bitcoin and building your Bitcoin stack. Because I think for the past 15 years, Bitcoin's gone up 100% every single year at some point if you're holding. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to DefiCast episode 4. That's gone by pretty quick. 3 episodes down, second episode of 2025. And I swear to God, you guys must think that I only decide to record a podcast when Bitcoin's pumping, because the last couple of weeks we've been kind of dipping, bouncing between 90 and 100K. Twitter's on fire as usual, saying it's over and whatnot. But every time I sit down to record, we're almost breaking 100,000. So maybe that's the key. Maybe that's the little rabbit foot in our back pocket. Is I just need to record every day and we'll go to the moon. But anyways, guys, welcome back. If you're listening again, I much appreciate you tuning back in. That means you're interested in the content and you want to learn more and you want to hang out and get to know myself and DefiCast and what we're all about. I want to go ahead and thank all of the people who have listened in. We're about to hit 100 downloads in total since I started, less than a month ago. So thank you to anyone who has contributed with that. If you want to help and support out the show, all you need to do is go to our Twitter, x.com/DeFi_cast, or you can go directly to the link tree at linktr.ee/DefiCast. It has all of our platforms that we are listed on: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube. To help the show out, if you could throw a follow on all of those, that helps out immensely, and it's much appreciated. And of course, even sharing with your friends. If people are new and, that little package we just did of 3 episodes of the introductory to crypto and Bitcoin, that's something you can pass on to others, and we can gain more exposure and build our community that way. So I'm your host, guys. My name is Logan. We're going to get into some news. Let's do it. DefiCast is brought to you by you, the listener, the degen, the investor. As we get DefiCast off the ground, if you're enjoying the content, it goes a long way to subscribe to us on your favorite podcast apps. Give us a comment, follow us on Twitter at x.com/DeFi_cast. At the top of the Twitter page, you'll find a link to our link tree, linktr.ee/DefiCast. There you'll find all of our links, as well as your favorite podcast app, including Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, and YouTube. Throw us a subscribe on all of them if you can. And to interact with us live or ask us questions that you may have after a show, or you just want to come and hang out, join the Telegram at t.me/dcastvanguard. And as always, thank you for listening. Take profit, not screenshots. Okay, guys, as we sit and breathe, the prices are as follows. Bitcoin, $99,000 US. Like I said, every time I podcast, we're like breaching 100K. So I'll just keep recording all day long, I guess. Ethereum sitting at 3,400. Poor Ethereum barely held 3,000 this week during the dip on Bitcoin. And you can go see all of the rest of the prices of all of the cryptocurrencies on whatever your favorite website is. I use CoinMarketCap or CoinSats. Solana had a nice bump up as well. I think it dipped all the way down to $174 per coin. Now we're back up over 200. Things are heating up in the crypto market, and people have started to buy the dip, which lots of people tell you to buy the dip. I bought the dip myself, actually, and I'm very excited about it. I actually finally have acquired some Bitcoin. I know that sounds crazy, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So let's hit a couple of the biggest news points We put out a post today on DeFiCast. President-elect Donald Trump has been hinting and now publicly pledging many moves in a positive nature for Bitcoin and crypto in general. Interestingly enough, during his public speeches about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, he is now separating Bitcoin and crypto when he is speaking. And I know that was a big point of contention for a long time. I mean, everybody remembers the Bitcoin burger or the crypto burger. He bought a burger with Bitcoin and then coined the phrase crypto burger, which people weren't very happy with, but that's okay. I think it's pretty funny. But it does show a growth in his knowledge. Like if he's speaking like that, obviously he's being advised by many different groups. It is nice to see that his knowledge is increasing and he's actually separating the Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrency market. Now, he's bullish on both, which is fine, but it is nice to see that he is upping his crypto knowledge and Bitcoin knowledge. So a couple of points about his pledges specifically. Now, remember, these are promises. Pledges are promises. Pledge sounds better, sounds more official, but they are promises. It doesn't mean anything at all. He could not do any of them. These are just pledges. One of the first ones that is a hot topic for everybody is the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. There actually was a little bit of FUD the other day. The wallet that holds the United States Bitcoin holdings hasn't had a transaction for a very long time. And then all of a sudden there was a transaction for 50 cents to be sent somewhere, kind of looks like almost like a test transaction. Like they were trying to figure out, they didn't want to move. I don't know what it is, 69,000 Bitcoin, a couple $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Could you imagine sending that transaction? God, I sweat when it's over $1,000. But that is fairly interesting that would happen. I don't know if they did that on purpose. People were fudding saying that since the transition of power, his inauguration's in a couple days here, it looks like 5 days from now. By the time you guys hear this, he'll probably already be inaugurated. They're thinking that the Biden administration, since they were so anti-crypto, that they were just going to dump the coins on the market, maybe to, make their spreadsheets look better for how much money they made. It is a substantial amount of money. But nothing has happened yet. Those coins didn't go anywhere yet. They're still there. And so the main part of this pledge of the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve is that some people have said that they will be purchasing up to 1 million coins. I don't see that as the case. I see it more as they're going to take what they have right now, which is a lot. It's publicly around 70,000 Bitcoin. They will probably just make that into the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. Whether they buy on top of that, we don't know, and it's hard to speculate on that. But either way, it's a signaling to the rest of the citizens, the country, the crypto community in general, that's a very pro-crypto move. Obviously, Gary Gensler, the SEC chair, will be stepping down immediately. His replacement will be pro-crypto. And people think that's bullish. And it kind of is. But, I would have some reservations with that. I know I'm not a Gary Gensler fan, obviously. Interestingly enough, Gary Gensler, there's a video of him speaking at MIT about Bitcoin being money. I think secretly he is a Bitcoiner. I think the rest of the crypto market scares him a little bit for, it's his job to make sure that people don't invest in things and get rugged, really. So he did have a decent understanding of Bitcoin. And he was probably just trying to slow things down enough to make sure that there was full transparency and information and knowledge about what they were about to do, because it has cascading effects across everything. So having a pro-crypto person in the SEC chair, the Securities Council, is, could be dangerous. If it's somebody who comes in there and they're like, yeah, okay, we'll approve this Bitcoin. Let's do all these ETFs. Let's do all of it. Let's just hit the red button or the green button. That may not be the best approach. I think there should be some conservative approaches to this. We have the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. There's been discussions around Solana, I think XRP as well, maybe Cardano. You have to approach that in a very specific way to make sure that you do protect citizens, because you have to protect the lowest common denominators. And it's the people who don't know anything, who may be listening to this podcast right now to get information. Those are the people that you're trying to protect. So I do understand that. Again, I'm going to reiterate, not a Gary Gensler fan, but I do understand where he's coming from on certain aspects. Another part of the pledge from Trump is no CBDC. A central bank digital currency is a big privacy concern. The government tracks you enough as it is. One of the founding principles of Bitcoin is, it's fairly public. The transactions and the ledger are open, and you can track transactions on a grand scale, or if you're doing an investigation of some sort. But having central bank digital currency is basically like end game surveillance for the government, because they can take so much information, not just like what you're spending your money on, like how much you spend, where you spend it, what time you spend it at, and it's just, there's just a whole bunch of data that can be gathered on the citizens, more than there is now. So obviously many people are against the CBDC. So it's interesting that that is one of his promises and pledges, that will not happen. There's discussions around the world in other countries. There has been some tests already. I believe it was in Nigeria. They issued a central bank digital currency. And I think the result of that was not great. And everyone that would come in contact with that, if they could get their hands on Tether, like USDT, the US dollar, that was king anyway. So it didn't really matter. People still skirted outside of the system to get the better currency, which goes to show maybe that was a mistake by their country. If they wanted to be, surveilling their citizens, I'm sure there was a lot of education, because it is a digital currency and you have to get a wallet and all that stuff. They kind of primed their citizens, with their own mandate to control the situation. And once these people learned, like, oh, well, what's this USDT thing? I can just swap for that or do this, that's just my opinion, but they may have loaded the gun that's to their head for currency swapping, because obviously in many countries around the world, currencies are not doing so well. Argentina being one of them. There's many countries with high inflation, hyperinflation. In fact, the people with the wheelbarrows full of cash to go buy a loaf of bread, those are the people that want to get their hands on dollars and now Bitcoin. Another pledge is to support mining in the U.S., which is a big promise of Donald Trump and his policies. He wants to be the mining capital of the world for Bitcoin. It's bullish in most terms. Bitcoin's fairly decentralized as it is now. Whether there's a question of centralizing mining in one country is a risk or an attack vector, we don't know yet. Most of the experts that I listen to say they're not too worried about that, because there is separation between private companies and public entities so far. The biggest thing and the most exciting thing is he's going to be promoting self-custody rights. He promises to safeguard your right to fully manage your own digital assets without government oversight, stating that your keys, your coins, which is really, really good to hear coming from a pro-crypto government, especially one coming into power. And so that's one to look forward to as well. It kind of eases the stress that people may have probably always had, that if the government turned against Bitcoin, the biggest attack vector for them would be attacking the on-ramps and off-ramps. That would make it not impossible, but very hard for 99% of citizens to buy cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, because, if they're targeting exchanges, you can't send your money from your bank, or the bank won't allow you to do that. And to be honest, you should be free to do whatever you want with your money, no matter if it's in a bank or not. It's your money. And anything that goes against that, people don't like very much, especially in America, I'm sure. the things that Bitcoin itself stands for, freedom, sovereignty, all those things, less surveillance, owning your own property. It's a very American thing, So I just think that's very interesting. Bitcoin is a very American idea. So that's the biggest news I think we're all watching. Like I said, the price, we just peaked above 100,000 on Bitcoin. Let's fucking go. All right. Maybe the biggest bull run ever. We'll see. Trump-fueled rocket bull run. I don't know, but I'm excited. Let's go. But we always have to keep in mind, we don't know what's going on in the background. They're still politicians. We don't know them personally. We don't know their agendas or, who is first up on the list to get satisfied voter block wise. And I think managing expectations is really important, and knowing somebody's motivation for things is also very important. Incentives do run the world. DeFiCast is brought to you by you, the listener, the degen, the investor. As we get DeFiCast off the ground, if you're enjoying the content, it goes a long way to subscribe to us on your favorite podcast apps. Give us a comment, follow us on Twitter at x.com/DeFi_cast. At the top of the Twitter page, you'll find a link to our Linktree, linktr.ee/DeFiCast. There you'll find all of our links, as well as your favorite podcast app, including Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, and YouTube. Throw us a subscribe on all of them if you can. And to interact with us live or ask us questions that you may have after a show, or you just want to come and hang out, join the Telegram at t.me/dcastvanguard. And as always, thank you for listening. Take profit, not screenshots. And with that, guys, I'm just going to give you a little introduction of who I am and how I came to be in this space, just to give you guys a good frame of reference and context, just to know where I come from, for where my opinions and the things that I do, the coins that I invest in. It's important to have a lens because it's framed around my own goals and strategies, which some have been successful, some have not been, but it's been trial and error. And you have to form your own approach to everything from macro to micro, making a trade, anything. You have to have a good framework and rule set. My name's Logan. I'm Canadian. I live in Ontario. I am a father. I have 2 kids, wife. My full-time gig is a paramedic. I was doing some firefighting as well. I've been a paramedic for about 8 years. I actually used to be a massage therapist. Then I went back to school. I've always been interested in alternative methods, I guess, like small business or just owning something of my own. I tried to do it as a massage therapist. I tried to own my own business, and it was okay. It just wasn't the right fit for me. I started doing the funny side gigs, selling cleaning supplies or specialty stuff. I've been involved in multiple multi-level marketing schemes, thinking that I could make a difference, make extra money. In the beginning, I when I was younger, for business anyway, I was a little impressionable, I think. It took a long time to learn what's a scam and what's not a scam. And maybe you could say prepared me for cryptocurrency, because there's scams everywhere up in here. My first exposure to cryptocurrency was 2018 or 2019. I'm a gamer by nature, not anymore because my time is taken up, but I used to game a lot. And I somehow got onto a video game that was going to be adding a Web3 component and having NFTs as part of their game. And that was my first kind of exposure to cryptocurrency as a whole, which is laughable because we all know how NFTs are doing now. which is really funny. But that was my first exposure. I invested heavily, as people do when they first discover this, because everything is so wild and so new, and your eyes glaze over. And that's the danger zone, okay? People lost millions of dollars on NFTs. Even myself, I was making tons of mistakes. I had a little bit of extra cash that I had put in to buy a couple, but then I got addicted and I wanted to buy more. So I started borrowing from my credit card. Big no-no. I started advancing payments on a credit card to buy Ethereum so I could buy these NFTs. Now, if I was smart, I would have sold them because I think at the peak, my entire portfolio was probably worth 5 or 6 ETH. And by today's standards, I don't even want to calculate it, but 1 ETH is $3,000, so it's a lot. And I was convinced by the hype, by the people around me, it's going higher. They're going to, 10 ETH an NFT, because we were seeing Bored Apes sell for like a couple $1 million. The hype was real. And that's kind of what you call a frothing in a market. That's what you call the blow off top, where people are making such ridiculous amounts of money on very shaky, ridiculous things like NFTs. I'm not sure if that industry, it's still around. There's still tons of people trading NFTs. I'm sure the volume's gone down quite a bit. I haven't been involved in a long time, but it's definitely not what it was from 2019 to 2021. So that was my first exposure. And then, because that gives you your introduction to making a wallet and buying some cryptocurrency so you can buy the NFTs and you hold them in your wallet and you learn about keys and security and all that stuff. So then I started looking at, coin market cap. I started looking at exchanges and I'm like, oh, you can like trade these other tokens and stuff. So that was my introduction into that. And that was at the peak of 2021 bull market. That was the worst time to be really excited about something because it was literally during the absolute blow off top of everything, all coins. So I think for approximately 2 or 3 weeks, I was making pretty good gains because everything was just blowing up. But what I didn't know, because I'm not experienced, that means that it was close to the end and a bear market soon arrived. I kept investing and taking profit and reinvesting on the dips. Buy the dip, buy the dip. They tell you to keep buying the dip. But what if the dip keeps dipping? Well, it did. It dipped to the pits of hell. It never went back up. I lost pretty much all of what I had acquired in that time. So I basically ended up pretty much in debt because I had borrowed money to do all this stuff. And then the NFTs were worthless and I couldn't sell those. I think I still even have them, to be honest. So then it entered the bear market part of the 4-year Bitcoin cycle, which obviously I had no idea about either. But that's kind of where things turned around for me. I'm a very curious person, especially with technology. There was lots to explore, and the bear market offered me a lot of time. It offered me a lot of patience because everyone had left, everyone sold and left, and there's always that sell-off at the end of a large bull run, which you have to be ready for. It's why we say secure profits, take profits on the way up, because you never know when the party's going to end. But during that bear market, that's where people start building things. And, I started a little group of people and we were investing in these coins. And that was my introduction to meme coins. And I met a whole bunch of really, really good friends. And we have stuck together for the most part. We have stuck together for, I guess, almost going on 3 years now. And we have done projects together. We have launched tokens together. We have advised each other and helped each other learn about new technology and bots, trading strategy, helping each other succeed, like the whole "we are going to make it" thing. It's a good little group of people. And through that, I gained much experience in being a lead in a project, like a community manager kind of person. I did that on various, NFT projects. I did it on various tokens. So I was always kind of like the front man, talking about the project, hyping it up. And then I started to learn what influencers were, and I started to learn what callers were. People that call tokens and say it's going to go 100x, invest now. And I started to get pretty disgusted with the space in general. I reached a point where I knew if I went in one direction, I would become one of these people. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go my own way, find my own way, and find my own success. And so that basically led me to the introduction of the TON network. The TON network being Pavel Durov's new chain, and his goal and dream to integrate it with Telegram, which potentially could onboard millions and millions of those types of users. But there was a huge little mini bull run just within this chain. And I kind of started noticing things on charts. I started noticing how easy it would be to swing trade these very, very slow moving charts, slower than all the meme coins and everything. And they really went up. They were just so volatile, but slowly volatile. And that's where you can make a ton of money. So I would just keep putting my profits in at the bottom and taking profits at the top, like aggressively. And I built quite a big stack. And that's kind of where my success started. We had a pretty successful project we launched as well. That went really good. Met lots of fun people, and that was kind of the end for me for being the community guy. I knew I wanted to do something different. So most people would take what they had made and they would like YOLO it on one play to double it up. That happens a lot. They reinvest everything and then they lose it all. Now, you have to also keep in mind, if you make a bunch of money on something and then you sell it and then you reinvest it and lose it, if the tax man comes along, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble because you haven't secured any of those profits to be able to pay your taxes when that time comes because you reinvested it and lost it. So it's always important to make sure you're kind of managing the back end of, if you have a bigger portfolio, that you always are taking profits. When greed is high and it feels like it could go up forever, that's the time to sell a little bit and store it away and keep doing that. And then when the market dips again, you can maybe reinvest a little bit, but you always got to keep kind of building that lower stack. And, then you can use it to pay your taxes and stuff later. But, that's pretty in depth, but that's just how I have gotten to where I've gotten, and with safety. I'm a pretty conservative investor. Unless I find something that I'm really excited about, I will follow it aggressively and try to trade it aggressively. So my main plan then, everybody thinks they can time the market, and I am not the person that thinks that they can time the market. I'm not. But I do know that these 4-year cycles of Bitcoin, they come and they go, and they have a lot of similarities. There's always a bear market. But one thing to me is clear just by going through the charts and looking at how many 80% drawdowns there is on Bitcoin, et cetera. And then, looking at these alt seasons where all the rest of crypto kind of blows up. I know that there's a lot of people that they just buy Bitcoin and that's it. And I am kind of like a Bitcoin maxi in a degen's body. I really am. I think eventually I will be all in just Bitcoin. But in the intern, I'm a little late to the game here. I need to make the extra money to put into Bitcoin. And I think that there's a little space there for people like myself, maybe newer people like yourself who are listening. If done properly with a good set of rules, my idea is you can kind of profit on the cryptocurrency side of things, take your profit, and then at the right times, you start loading into Bitcoin and building your Bitcoin stack. Because I think for the past 15 years, Bitcoin's gone up 100% every single year at some point if you're holding. And the amount of drawdowns it is extreme at times. But if you hold and keep holding, how much value that it increases against the US dollar and, a variety of other things, actually every other asset class, including gold and real estate, Bitcoin compared to these other these traditional assets that people invest their money in. I mean, I'm jumping around here, but think about Los Angeles, right? The ultimate thing for people is I want to buy a house. I want to have a nest egg. I want to store my money in a house, and buying a house, getting a mortgage and paying it off, and that being an investment. Well, you can do that, but it's the world is changing, and it's showing how risky that actually could be. I mean, look at all these people in Los Angeles that just lost all their homes, and who knows how much insurance money they're going to get. Nobody's going to be made fully whole, So is real estate the most greatest investment? Maybe not. The stock market, I can't speak on it or have a lot of experience on it, but I do know the memes, the guy like crying and stock price went down 3%. And then it shows like a crypto guy and he's like smoking a cigarette, like whatever. And he's down like 99%. The cryptocurrency teaches you, a lot of things. It hardens you up, I guess. But one thing's true, and I haven't compared this to most of the other coins, but Bitcoin itself has tremendous value and is gaining a lot of momentum and adoption. And I don't know if, in my opinion, the store of value and possibly global transactional settlement on a bigger scale is something that Bitcoin will fill, and as well store of value, better than gold, better than real estate and that kind of thing. It's already proven that that's the case historically. But I don't know about the transactional side. I don't know if Bitcoin will be the world money that you buy coffee with. I would love that. I just don't know if that will be the case. I'm not sure. There's lots of people that think that, but Bitcoin has to scale quite a bit. So it depends on how fast adoption goes and how fast the technology advances. Now, some would compare Bitcoin as being in its infancy, kind of like when the internet was brand new. I mean, everybody's seen that newspaper article where it says, internet just a fad, a dying fad. I mean, well, look at us now. Look at the internet now. And that was in the 1990s or something. The internet is everything now. And everyone uses it for everything. And that's how fast technology can go. And I heard recently, or have read recently, that really you should be comparing Bitcoin to TCP/IP, which is the protocol that the internet started on. You all remember the sound of your modem dialing up, and TCP/IP was the communication protocol layer that the internet worked on. And then you had the internet, and then you had the Googles, and then you had, all these layers came after. And so currently where Bitcoin is, people are comparing it to that TCP/IP period of internet adoption, which is extremely bullish to me. It depends on how this technology advances to where Bitcoin itself will go. So as I kind of said in the beginning, this is just kind of giving you an overall lens and context into all of my actions going forward in the podcast, things I invest in. I'll always be transparent with you. Like, I am gambling here. I don't know a lot about this meme coin or this project, but these are the reasons why I'm buying it. These are the reasons why I will sell. Just giving you a lens and letting you know my longer term plans, which is, there is an opportunity to make money in this possible meme coin bull market coming up that everyone's talking about. That's possible. Now, why wouldn't I want exposure to that? Just because I'm a Bitcoin maxi in a degen's body, you know? So you can make your money there, but the thing is, you have to follow your rules. You have to take profit. You have to secure that profit, and you just have to move slowly and with intent. Every time you make a trade, is this for, a degen session, quick gains? I'm selling in an hour because this coin's not going to last 30 minutes. Or is this something that I'm buying to hold for a couple months and I want to build a large bag because I believe in the project? And there are many applications that need to be considered when you make a trade. If you just go and buy something and you have no plans whatsoever, I 100% guarantee you're likely going to lose money or not make as much as you could. Aside from some luck, some sheer luck. And so the macro portion of my journey is to make sure that I myself stack Bitcoin, number one, for whatever the future may have. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I have never been more bullish on Bitcoin, and it's only kind of happened in the last 6 months as I've learned a lot of things. I've done some research, listened to podcasts, listened to experts, and watched things unfold adoption-wise, and the whole Trump thing, and the whole change of opinion on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in itself, and seeing these nation states adopt it. And, El Salvador and Bukele, what they're doing, it's just that could spread if it works for these people. And I want exposure to that. I always joke with my friends when they say, oh, Bitcoin's up I saw it hit 90K. I saw it hit 100K. Like, you must be rich. Because, I don't talk about it in my normal life, but they know that I am interested in and invest. And the funny thing is, I'm like, yeah, that sounds great, but I don't own any currently. I own 0 Bitcoin. Well, that changed a couple weeks ago when Bitcoin dipped, and I had taken profits on some other things. And I'd kind of formed this idea that that's what I was going to do. So I needed to start my Bitcoin bag no matter what. And I've heard many people say, every time you go to buy Bitcoin, it feels expensive. It doesn't matter. And it was just getting to that point where I needed to buy it. So I went ahead, got myself my bag of Bitcoin, and now I have to plan on how to build it and not lose it. And I'll be taking profits from the rest of cryptocurrency and possibly, meme coins, DeFi. Aside from Bitcoin, the alt season, if that proves profitable, I'll be taking profit. And then as Bitcoin maybe moves into any sort of dips or into a bear market, I will strategically add to my Bitcoin bag for the next cycle, because it's been, I don't know if this is the 4th cycle or the 5th cycle. I think it's the 4th. It's like clockwork, because Bitcoin is time and energy stored in value. And I do think it's a savings technology. And so that's my general approach to what I'm trying to do here. But in the middle portion, where we are right now with the podcast and meme coins, and we're going to be talking about, all the stuff that I'm invested in now. And yeah, I'm a degen. I'm invested in meme coins. I'm invested in altcoins right now. And it could all go to 0. I could be absolutely wrecked. But I'm trying to make sure that I keep intact my main goal and then my short-term goals to take profit when needed. But there's no reason why we can't have fun in the middle. And that is my general approach to cryptocurrency as a whole. Later on here, we're going to talk about some of the coins that I'm into. I was going to talk about Nostr, which is something that you guys have probably seen us talk about a little bit on Twitter. We have a link up on our Twitter page to get started. We also have a big write-up in the Telegram just explaining the basics of what Nostr is. I don't think I'm going to have enough time for that because I've rambled on here for almost 40 minutes already. I'm sure you're probably not even listening anymore. But I think one of the important things was just giving you guys a good history and an overall vision of how I got into the space, why I'm in the space, and what my future plans are in the space. And I think I'm going to have a lot of fun doing the podcast because it's something laid back, casual. that I can do and have a lot of fun with. I've got a lot of fun plans for it. As I had said at the beginning, the first 3 episodes were kind of help you get started and give some tips and tricks. And we're going to continue to do that and educate where we can. And any questions you have, come into the Telegram and ask us or reach out on Twitter. But going forward, we're going to be diving into Solana, degeneracy, ETH coins, meme coins, altcoins, talking about whatever is interesting and pumping during this hopefully massive bull market. Some of the things I have planned, we'll talk about Nostr next time, but I did test a streaming platform where we're going to do some live shows, and eventually it will be YouTube as well, and I'll be streaming on multiple platforms, actually sharing my screen and showing what we're looking at or what we're trading, what interests us, and you can see some strategies and get a kind of a visual of how it all works. That'll be like a live degen session where we look at new coins or look at launches and try to make some quick flips and some quick monies, have a good time along the way. So that's something that I have in store for the show, as well as mentioned at the beginning, and you can see on our Twitter that we have a intern that is starting soon. Her name is Celexa, and she is an AI agent on the Solaris platform, which is solaris.io, I think. You can look it up from our Twitter. We've posted a bunch of stuff on it. She will be a full Twitter influencer. She'll also be a Telegram community manager in our Vanguard Telegram. And she will also be hosting Twitter Spaces where I will probably do some shows, actually probably some more private shows, where I will record with her, and she will learn as she interacts on Twitter and in the crypto Twitter area. She'll learn how to network. She'll learn how to find new tokens or popular tokens, things that are being talked about. And she's going to be kind of like an assistant, and she's going to inform us on what we should go and take a look at. That's the hope anyway. We have to train her, and we're still waiting for the tech to be released, which should be any day. But we do have the Twitter ready to go. I do have some art done because I like doing that, and it's a lot of fun. It may not work out. The tech may not deliver at an appropriate time. It may not work right. And if that's the case, I do have some other options that I am looking at if I need to go with a different platform. But this is the platform I want to go with because I am invested in it as well. So that's something to look forward to. It's going to be a lot of fun working with a AI agent assistant and possibly co-host. We will see. And the last thing I'm just going to touch on, just from my recent activities, catch you guys up on what I've been doing. I also received my Ledger Nano S Plus, which is one of the popular cold wallets for storage and security of your Bitcoin and all of your other cryptocurrencies. I had mentioned that it was on order the last episode. So it came. I was intimidated, of course, because it was brand new and I was going to be moving a lot of money, which was very stressful, and figuring things out. But I will say it was actually fairly simple to walk myself through. And I was trying to imagine myself as somebody brand new. It does walk you through very intently, like with intent, and focuses on the right forms of security. So I moved all of my assets from my hot wallets, my Phantom wallet. I moved them all into wallets that are stored on the cold storage device, the Ledger. It can, and you can also connect it right to you can import other accounts on your Phantom wallet or your hot wallet into the Ledger, meaning that if you go to make a transaction in the wallet, instead of the wallet just saying confirm, it will actually say, okay, we need interaction from your hardware device. So you'll actually have to plug your Ledger into your computer, and you'll have to put your PIN code in, and you'll have to click the buttons to manually confirm the transaction in your hand. And that's what the Ledger device does. So that guards against if somebody hacks your computer, and they get your password for your hot wallet and they just go in and send something, that kind of removes that risk completely, because they need to have physical access to your physical cold wallet to confirm the transaction. And that's the main reason that I like it. So get yourself a ledger. Don't wait as long as I did. Just go out and get one. Even if the amount of money that you're deciding to invest in cryptocurrency is a lot to you in any way, shape, or form, you should have it backed up on a cold storage wallet. Make sure you buy it from ledger.com and not from Amazon or any sort of secondary retailer. So that's just a little bit of an update on the ledger. Get one. Do it. So I think that's probably going to do it for us today. We're approaching quite a longer show than I thought. I did want to talk about Nostr, decentralized social media platform, but I'm going to leave that for the next episode. We're going to talk about it in depth. We may even have some more live streams planned. Like I said, I already tried one. It worked very well. And eventually it will be streaming on all platforms all at once: Twitch, YouTube, and Nostr. If you're interested in Nostr, you want to get ahead of the game before we talk about it, just jump into the Telegram and read the instructions there. We can help you get set up. And you can also go follow us on Primal, which is the Nostr Twitter, basically. And our tag over there, our public key, is DeFiCast at primal.net. And you can throw us a follow over there. Much different place over there. It's like, it doesn't freak you out when you open your Twitter feed. Like, it's nice and people say good morning and there's no crazy people. Although I did see a little bit of porn the other day and I had to block it. So, I mean, that is the risk of unbridled, decentralized social media, right? You get everything. So that's something we'll talk about in a later episode as well. Right now, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of the coins I hold before we go. Right now, my biggest holdings they're my conviction plays for meme coins currently right now. Number one is Giga. It's been around for a year. Everyone has probably heard about it if they're in the meme coin business. It's a very bullish community, which is something that I look for. They are a non-relenting community, and it grows by the day. Now, Gig is a relatively high market cap, and I've been trading it for a long time, so it's not something that you're rushed to buy immediately. I mean, I have conviction that it's going to go to $1 billion market cap and above. It just grazed it a couple of days ago. I think it went to 900 million or something, so it is a much higher market cap coin. And the bet of me holding it right now is that it will go much, much higher with the impending, hopefully, meme coin bull run that we may have. And that's the main reason I hold it. Other main key factors are they're an LLC. They own all of their content. They own the idea. They own the meme. They're doing it the right way. They're listed on Coinbase and a bunch of other really popular places. They have a company attached to it. It's Giga Fitness. And they have a really professional line of fitness gear that they're rolling out at some point. They go to fitness events. They have a couple of influencer models that actually show up in real life and model the Giga Fitness stuff. And I'm actually a big fitness guy myself. I work out 5 days a week. So I really connect with the community that way. They talk about workouts and like healthy lifestyle and stuff. So that's kind of something that keeps me drawn in. And that's one of my bigger holdings. The other ones that I'll mention here that are kind of in the budding stage, and I see the same sort of community involvement and bullishness in these coins. They're lower in the market cap range. They range between 6 million and 10 million. We mentioned it before, but it's Purple Bitcoin on Solana. Same type of community. They are very dedicated to the cause. The chart is very voluminous, and there are people standing by to buy dips at all times. People really believe in the token. And that is still, again, community is one of the main focuses I have when I'm investing in a meme coin for the longer term. And then it's got a little bit of extra bullishness on top of it because it has some very specific contract things that happen with the tokenomics. They have a burn mechanism. They have a cap supply of 21 million. And these things are starting to show up in volume. And as the market cap increases, people are noticing how quickly the value of just one of their purple Bitcoins is going up because of the supply shock here and there, and the bullishness of the supply being deflationary. It's a really nice and refreshing thing to have in Solana because they don't really have that type of automated contractual deflationary burning mechanisms. It's very new to me. I've never seen it on any other token in Solana. Like you see devs burn tokens, like they'll just send it to the burn machine and they're burning the supply and the money. But most of these coins have like a billion token supply. And burning really doesn't mean a lot. But with this one, it means a little bit more, especially as the price rises. And there's a couple other surprises I think that they have in store. And they've been getting listings, and really the chart and the community are holding so strong. Purple Bitcoin is something that is a recent discovery of mine. And I'm really interested in that token, and I'm involved in the community there. So I'm just going to leave it there for those two tokens right now. Any other tokens that I mention are a gamble at this point, and we'll do a little bit more of that gambling portion later. But that's a rundown of the bigger meme coins I hold. And then other than that, I've got some ETH, some Bitcoin, Chainlink. Chainlink's a big interoperable connection crypto tech-wise. Every chain kind of is using it. And you need to do your research on that, but that's one of my main investments as well. So that's basically my portfolio at this point. It was all in TON, but now I have moved on to other bigger and better things. And I just actually heard TON is going to be coming to the United States. So congratulations, United States. Maybe we'll see a big TON pump. Maybe it'll make me cry because I sold all my TON, but we'll see what happens. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Again, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys go to our link tree, linktr.ee/DeFiCast, or go to our Twitter at x.com/DeFi_cast, and you can find the links there. And follow us on every platform that you can. That helps us out huge. You can get us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, and now Nostr. So make sure you throw us some follows, guys. Reach out if you have any questions, concerns, you want content covered, you want private lessons, whatever. We'll help you out. Just make sure you come over and join the Telegram. And the Telegram is t.me/dcastvanguard. But that's going to do it for me. I'm Logan. Hopefully you've learned something today, even if it's just a little bit about me. I think that's important going forward. And I'm excited for the future of DeFiCast, and I'm excited for this huge bull run. Let's go, baby. All right, peace.